Hey Diva, hi. Once again, I'm here begging for forgiveness. This episode was supposed to come out weeks ago, but okay, guys, gotta eat. Okay, so I've been busy with work and I haven't been able to get to this, and I have no more excuses. Enjoy. Also, not me wearing the exact same outfit as last time. I'm so predictable. I look a mess. I need to get it together. Go watch the episode. Have so much fun. Bye.
Position.
I always look at your room. I'm like, man, it looks so cozy. And
Right?
I know. Like, no wonder Jeremy wants to go to bed in there.
I like, like the mood, you know what I mean? Like I've always got like candles going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, it just looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
And I've got like what are they? Those sheets like for wintertime because it's about to be like super cold.
Say, is it frigid out in like where y'all are at? Because
oh my gosh, it has gone from today. It was a high of 69. It's already down to like 49, 50 with the wind chill.
So we started at 55 this morning and now it's like low 30s.
Yeah, we have like a 20-mile-per-hour wind or 20% chance, or I don't know. Like the wind chill is like 20 degrees less than what it actually is outside.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So it's 44 here, and then by 6 a.m. it's going to be 24.
Okay, so it's about the same then. What about?
Yeah, ours is 30 when we wake up in the morning.
We're just not going to have any snow or anything.
We have a very slight chance, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
So I'm at 36 right now. I'm sitting pretty at 36.
I'm at 33.
Oh, cute.
Feels like 25.
I'm going to be 33 in
like 11.
19 days. What day is it?
Wait,
oh, it's almost your birthday.
Wait, what?
You're a winter baby.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so cold.
Oh.
Yeah, Lily's birthday is February 9th. And so I'm always like, what am I going to do for her birthday? Because she's like, I want a bouncy castle, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, somewhere inside.
You're like, well,
they have the places that have the bouncy castles inside, don't they?
They do. I'm going to do Chuck E. Cheese because it's easy.
Cute.
Yeah, it's easy. They do everything for you. All I have to do is bring a cake and I'm good.
Yep.
I love that. Okay. So
he doesn't want to turn around.
We missed you. We missed Bre last time. Bre, you missed. We did a tier list of the best reality, like real estate shows.
Okay.
And it was fun. But today, I've recruited you because I want to get your reactions on some raging hot videos. Are you ready for this?
Got it.
Okay, here is the first one. I wonder how this is gonna go.
Hey bestie, if you want to buy a house in 2025, here's what you need to know. And the last thing is a tip that not a lot of people know about, so make sure you stick around. But first, if you're new here, I'm Fiona the lender. I've been a lender for like 9 years now, so listen up. Number one, you cannot do anything with bad credit. Please get your credit right. You're going to see programs out there that say that they accept credit down to 580. And while that is true, then you will just need a big fat 10% down payment usually. And the interest rate is not that sexy when your credit score is in the 500s. So shoot for 620 and above, 640 and above, even better. The second thing to note is that it's not just your down payment that you're saving up for. You also have closing costs. Depending on if you're doing a conventional loan or an FHA loan or a VA loan.
Oh, you can't hear it?
The seller can actually contribute different amounts.
Huh.
I could hear it.
You can hear it?
I don't know why I can't hear it.
So basically, she's going to the rates of getting a home loan, and how you can hear it at all. You can't at all.
No, nothing.
Okay.
She talks about how you can't have bad credit. So talking about like if you have a 580, you can like there's programs that will say you can have a 580. Well, yes, but you have to have more of a down payment. And then when she was going over, depending on what loan product you use, depends on your down payment and other costs incurred using those types of loans.
Right.
And I don't know where she was going. I think she was just talking.
Let me see. Gosh, I don't even know how to work this system. Can I? No, I don't want that to be in my intro.
That might be right because I mean, I have had clients that go in at like closer to like the 600 range, like 590 ish, and what we've had to do in between just to get them like a better rate or something, they've had to like pay off an old debt to just.
Oh my gosh. You want to talk about old dets? Like,
yes.
yeah, I can't tell you how many times we have people with like 10 credit cards we end up having to pay off, or a car note plus 3 credit cards or something like that. Or the worst ones are like, the worst ones are like the JC Penney's credit cards or stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, because
all the store
for whatever
cards.
reason, they have you send it to like a PO box, and so it takes forever for them to even get it. And so these people end up having to make an extra payment on top of it before it even reflects in their account. And then 9 times out of 10, our USPS system is awful, and so the check gets returned back to us. And I'm like, just give me a physical address so I can FedEx you this check instead of doing a PO box. Like, please, everyone get with the times. Like, I don't have time for this.
What is the PO box even?
So basically, like somebody
check your mail.
Yeah, so somebody has like a physical address, but they don't actually receive mail there. They have like a separate box where they have to go and pick up all of their mail.
Why?
I don't know.
That does it though.
Corporation? Are you talking about like JC Penney and them? You're sending it to a PO box, or the person has a PO box?
No. So we give you a choice 9 times out of 10 because we're the ones that collect the invoice. We would rather be the ones to send it. A lot of title companies will physically hand you the check and be like, you mail it out because now you're responsible for it. Yeah. But for us, because we have the invoice, we collect for it and send out the payment. But I mean, again, what am I going to do when UPS is like, oh, sorry, undeliverable? And so I talked to the guy because we had so many come back 1 month. I think it was maybe around like, it was like Thanksgiving time. It was repeated. Every single piece of mail that we sent out got returned. And I was like, what is going on? And some of them were like checks mailed to clients, not just PO boxes, just regular mail. And he said, well, if the department that sorts is over busy, they'll just stamp it as return to sender.
Oh,
what? They won't even process it.
Don't worry. Just trying to pay my bills.
I was like, these checks aren't important to people. Like, what?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Because stamps have gotten so high too. So I mean, I know it's what 64 cents.
It's 69 cents for a stamp.
Yeah,
69 cents for a stamp. So for us, now I have to pay again to re-stamp it. I'm like, I don't know, frustration in itself.
It's really weighing on your spirit. I feel like it is.
It's just so frustrating. And then I had this other poor lady, so she had set up a trust for her and her husband, closed on it. Well, she's been banking with USAA for God only knows how many years. We all know that USAA doesn't have any physical branches anymore. They all work off their ATMs, which is fine. And like all the extra stuff you have on the app, I have USAA, so I know how it works. They're great in regards. But go ahead.
They don't have a physical location.
Nope.
Why?
There's no physical banks.
A lot of banks are starting to go
everything's gonna be upload deposit check and da 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 da. So anyway, so she goes and it's in her name, Honey Bear, blah blah blah, trust, da 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 da. So she goes to deposit it and it gets approved, and then she sees it retracted automatically. And she was like, wait, what? She's already endorsed the back of the check. And so she calls and they're like, no, because of the amount, you can't deposit it this way. You need to go to them and ask them to split it up into different payments.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, heck no. I said, that's ridiculous. I said, you know what you can do is call their escalation team, because I've had to deal with them before, get a hold of somebody in escalation and have them push the check through. I said, it's already been deposited once, so they already have a copy of the front and the back. I said, have them go ahead and push it all the way through. So she did that. They said it was fine. Then they came back and called 2 days later and were like, no, you need to go to a physical ATM instead of using the mobile app to deposit, and deposit it that way. She does that. Yeah, exactly. She does it. Now it shows as the balance is what it should be. Nope. Comes back 24 hours later, retracted again.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my gosh. Their reason this time was because it not only had her individual name, it had the name of the trust. And USA no longer recognizes trusts.
Oh my God.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So what I told her, I said, look, I'm going to put a stop pay to the check since obviously you've already endorsed it. You've tried to cash it a couple times. So I did a stop pay, reissued it. I said, just go to Wells Fargo, go to Bank of America, open up a trust account. And that way, because she has other properties to sell that are now all in the trust name. I said, you want something that's going to be easy so that you can, get your money quicker. This is going to be your best bet. Because then now once you have a trust bank account set up, I can just go ahead and wire all the funds straight to the trust account, and you don't even need to worry about any of this.
That's what I was going to say. Remember, we love wires.
Oh,
yes. Wires make the world go
round.
Everybody wire. I think we're good.
So why wires is supposed to, like, I don't know, just transfers?
What?
Why wires?
Yeah, why wires?
Immediate.
Because of the entire thing that Bre just
No, I know that, but just like why? Because wouldn't a transfer be the same thing?
Yeah, you would think, but it's bank to bank, so there's not really that middleman. Like,
well, it depends on like if you have a credit union and stuff like that. There is a third party bank typically that it goes through first, so that does take a little bit longer. And then, of course, it always depends on who you bank with, if they're going to charge an incoming wire fee. So keep that in mind as well. It can go upwards of $20 to $50, depending on who you're banking with. And so, hypothetically speaking, you give me the wrong name on the account and that wire gets sent back, it's already deducted $50 from it.
Yep.
Right.
So every time you give me the wrong wiring information, you're going to be shorted every
Which is
time.
why you call them and make sure. And if we're not paying attention when we have that conversation, well, SOL.
And then
So what
like
about,
the big banks, they have different numbers for wires whenever you want to get your proceeds. It's like a ABA, right?
Yeah, your ABA is your routing number, and then you have your account reference number, which is your account number. You want to ensure that they are correct. Most of the time, we already have your bank's routing information because we do it so often. We save all the information. So if you're off by a number or two, we're going to catch it. We're going to go ahead and put in the correct number. But if it's like some, I don't know, ho-bunk credit union that we don't know nothing about, and it comes back, you're SOL.
We were sitting at the closing table with my Utah clients, and they were paying cash, but it was from a trust account, and it was some small bank in Utah, and
Mormon-ass bank.
I don't even know what it was, but they had him on hold. He had been talking to somebody there physically that worked there every day, so it was it was a really small town bank. And then we get there and they're like, oh, well, we can't send that much money. And so they ended up having to drive from Abilene to Fort Worth. And there was a bank that was a sister bank to that bank that they could get a money order from. And this is today at closing, mind you. They're like, we need the money. They've already been in the house a week and it's fine. Wow. But just one more day. This isn't a Friday afternoon at all.
Oh, Lord.
Makes it 10 times worse.
The whole thing.
Hillary, I do have to ask you, did we get an update to your wax story?
Oh yes.
This is the message that I got.
I was literally editing on CapCut, and that was going to be my video. Was like kind of some of the highlights, and it was I forgot about the wax, and I'm like laughing all over myself.
Were you here for that? Bre?
No.
Oh my! Tell her.
So we're just podcasting along, and my Airbnb, somebody had checked out that day, and my cleaner's texting me, and she's like, I don't know how many people were here or what was going on, but there's red wax all over the master bedroom sheets, all over the master bedroom, like the bathroom trash. I do not keep candles in my Airbnb, y'all. So I wrote it on his review. I said it was like I gave him 5 stars because otherwise it was fine. But
minus the candle wax.
I was like, I don't want to give you a bad review in case you don't know what it's about. Whatever. And he messaged back at like 2:05 a.m. the next night and said, I'm curious about the wax. I'll definitely look in my bags for something that matches, but we'll definitely be back. You're going to look in your bag? What? No.
The audacity. You know you brought that wax in.
I was like, you shouldn't have even said anything back to me. It was just like me telling you, like, I know what you did. And he could have been like,
I know what you did.
Speculation.
You know.
She knows. One of those,
like, people, man.
Oh, she knows.
Right. Like, just, I mean, the audacity to be like, I'll see if I have anything that matches. What the fuck do you think match? Like,
it's gone. It's all over her sheets now. There ain't nothing in your bag that matches.
Or
the candle is gone, sir.
It was used.
Like, seriously,
unless you have some left on your chest hair, then.
Or maybe they were just waxing.
Not that kind of wax, Adex.
It's different?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't get waxed.
Adex.
You don't get waxed either way.
I've only had my eyebrows waxed, and that was a long time ago.
Our Adex is vanilla.
I am.
Let us enlighten you.
I mean, I played with wax. It wasn't enjoyable, but like, I don't know. Anywho, okay. I don't know. Should we try to do this again? See if like we can hear it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Oh, her video.
Where did my videos go?
They went bye-bye.
There they are. Okay.
They got some wax on them.
All right, let's try. Let's see if this works. 1 and 2 and.
Hey, bestie, if you want to buy a house in 2025, here's what you need to know. And the last thing is a tip that not a lot of people know about, so make sure you stick around. But first, if you're new here,
Okay, so you couldn't hear it.
Dang. Okay.
Let me try one more thing. I don't know if it'll like over to my computer or not, but we'll see if it does. Let's see. Screen sharing works by some powerful computers. What are you trying to say? All right. Let's see.
Chrome?
Oh no. Yeah, I am.
Okay, me too.
Should I try Safari?
It wouldn't let me use Safari at all.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if it'll work. Here we go. And can you hear it, Bre?
2025, here's what you need to know. And the last thing is a tip that not a lot of people know about, so make sure you stick around. But first, if you're new here, I'm Fiona the lender. I've been a lender for like 9 years now, so listen up. Number 1, you cannot do anything with bad credit. Please get your credit right. You're going to see programs out there that say that they accept credit down to 580. And while that is true, then you will just need a big fat 10% down payment usually. And the interest rate is not that sexy when your credit score is in the 500s. So shoot for 620 and above, 640 and above, even better. The second thing to note is that it's not just your down payment that you're saving up for. You also have closing costs. Depending on if you're doing a conventional loan or an FHA loan or a VA loan, then the seller can actually contribute different amounts towards the closing costs. But so many people spend so long just saving up for the down payment, finally get there just to find out that there are also closing costs. And the last one is that whenever you are shopping around for a lender, make sure that you're not shopping around for the lowest rate. And I say that because you can't even lock in an interest rate unless you are under contract to buy a home. When you're shopping around, make sure you're shopping around for somebody that you actually like trust. Because when you're just getting pre-approvals, there's nothing you can lock in anyway. And one more pro tip. If your lender only does pre-approvals but not conditional approvals, listen. A conditional approval is the difference between getting your offer accepted and getting your offer not accepted. Getting pre-approved just means that you submitted all of your documents to a loan officer and you just hope that they know all of the guidelines that are up to date and current and can change. So when you get conditionally approved, like I send in a conditional approval for all of my buyers, that means that an underwriter actually has looked at that file, and it not only makes your offer stronger because you're showing the seller that you've already been underwritten approved, but you can also usually close faster, like up to 2 weeks faster if you need to. So I am accepting new clients for 2025. If you are looking to buy a house sometime in...
Yeah, thank you for that.
You go, girl. I am so glad that she talked about that actually, because
not enough people know about
there's not, people come so green into buying a house, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Even like the down payment, they don't know that they have to pay for closing costs and this and that, and they have to pay appraisal fees sometimes up front.
Escrow fees, things up front, absolutely.
Yep.
And then they have to make sure, like, I'm sure that, I don't know if y'all have been doing this in your area, but just recently with the rates the way they were, like, we've been buying down more than putting more down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've had 3 buyers this year with the same lender and then we bought a house with that same lender, and Ricky did not understand. He was like, why are we buying down the rate? I don't want, but like we had to break it down and like the number by number. Yeah. And actually it made way more sense to buy down than to get so much credit from the seller that we had to give some back because it didn't fit in the loan.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
There's so that's why you need to
so your monthly payments lower.
And a lender you trust, because like I will call them up at 3 a.m. and say, what are these numbers? And I want somebody's cell phone that I can call. I don't want to call an office and and there's so many things that just that have been just misunderstood with the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because there's
a lot of times, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying there's a lot of moving parts. And so if you don't have a lender that, because I have buyers, it depends on your buyer's schedule, right? So sometimes they work until 8 or parents or whatever it is. And you can't sit there and have a conversation middle of the day or whatever at 5 o'clock. I need, like she said, I need somebody that I can call at 8 o'clock at night. I can send a text message to. It's very, very important to do that, but also to go through those numbers, because like that lady was saying, rates aren't locked in. So just because you're pre-approved for amount doesn't mean that's going to be the rate that it's going to be in 3 weeks when you're ready to lock in. It could be higher, it could be lower. You know what I mean? And
where's Kelly? We need to talk to her about this.
Right?
No, I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, this is perfect for her to answer, because she would know everything about it. She's been in business for well over, 10, 15 years. So she knows everything about it. But going into that regard, like making sure, one, yes, you have a good lender, but 2, you have a real estate agent that can explain these things to you, because I can't tell you how many times, like, I answer my email. I'm one of the few people that does this. And granted, a lot of people frown down upon answering emails, texts, phone calls, etc. after working hours, because it does get exhausting. But most people don't answer their phones and answer their emails until after work. So when you see your CD or your HUD come in at 8 o'clock at night and you have questions over it, who are you going to go to?
Who are you going to call?
Out tomorrow.
Right. And
who are you going to call?
You're not going to Bre Buster.
Please. An icon.
But you know what I mean? Like, you want someone to break down, like, why are the HOA payments reflected this way? Like, why am I paying this amount? Why am I doing this in taxes?
For you, Bre, like, how many times do you see bad agents Maybe not, because I'm sure those aren't showing up for closing, but how many times are you having to explain things that agents should be explaining for these people before they even get to closing? And I'm sure they show up
all
to
the
closing and
time.
like, what
All
do
the
these
time.
things mean? And it's like, you should have already been educated on this matter.
Girl, no. I just did a quick, it was a company that, buys houses that are about to go into foreclosure.
Yeah.
So I call the people, I get everything set up, and I do this closing within, 4 business days. So I've got everything that I need from the attorneys, to stop the foreclosure. We need to get this done quick, right?
Yeah.
So I call the seller, I get all the seller information that I need, and I get her set up at a courtesy closing at our League City office, which it's about an hour away from us down south. So I was like, hey, be here by, 3:30. You and your husband both need to be present. Well, why does my husband need to be there? Because we're a community property state. He needs to sign off on the deed, explain all that. Then she shows up and she doesn't know why she's there. I gave her all this information and she does nothing with it. She goes, they're like, well, I don't know I don't know who you're supposed to be meeting, So I call Shay, who is the other escrow officer. I was like, what is going on? She was like, let me go out to the front room and see if they're there. The girl had walked out and just sitting in her car. And so I call the other side, the guys that are buying it. And I was like, are one of y'all going to go meet these people? Because they truly don't know what they're going to do here or anything. And I was like, I'm thoroughly explained the closing process to them since you have no agents on either side.
Right.
But you guys, this is what your company does. You need to make sure that your sellers are aware of what they're about to do. The whole reason, come and find out, they were doing a lease back as well on the property to the same people. So they wanted the lease back sold before proceeding with closing docs. I was like, well, that would be a key information to tell me. A lease back is basically where they are purchasing the property, but the people are turning around and leasing it from them.
Like the sellers get to stay in the property after closing and after the buyers.
You got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So
they just need a couple days to move out, or you can do it.
But they ended up getting it to like a full lease with the company because the company bought them out of foreclosure. Before the other side signed anything, sent anything, they wanted to make sure that this lease was signed before moving forward. That's why the girl was so dang confused. She was like, I'm supposed to be meeting somebody here. And so I'm calling them and I'm like, who's meeting? Which one of y'all is meeting him? Keep in mind, most of them are young guys that have created a group that are doing all these sales. And so I'm like, one of y'all better get your butts over there now. And finish up your deal because you're wasting our time.
Where is their agent, by the way?
There is
no agent.
It was. That's why it's so important to have your own representation.
Baby girl, they sold this property for $26,000.
Oh. Still, I have
nice condo, by the way. Nice condo. But, I mean, they were scared of the HOA liens and everything else, and they're very young. They were 1997, 1998 birth year.
Babies.
Yeah, so they didn't know better. And my mama heart, I was like, I'm going to have to keep my mouth shut on this, but
it's
hey,
streaming money.
The deal closed. So
question, because I'm actually meeting with somebody who's about to go into foreclosure. He had a loan through Rocket Mortgage, which we all know and hate.
Gotta love them.
What are some tips I can give him? I haven't really worked with anybody in a foreclosure, and I know he's talked to his lawyers, but apparently there's like a cease and desist on his.
There is. Yeah. You have to make sure that you have a copy of that, and it has to be good for 30 days minimum.
I'm trying to get them to extend before they actually foreclose because he needs to put it on the market. So, I know that there's a way that we can talk to them like, hey, extend it.
Yeah. You provide them with once you have a signed contract, provide them with a copy of the contract.
I have with him.
And then attach the TILA doc, Christina, showing that they can talk to you too.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. That you have representation for them so that any correspondence that you may need to get for the title company or whomever.
I'm sending that to his mortgage company or the lawyers that are involved.
Well, I would send to both personally. That granted, I always try to let the attorneys handle it from that standpoint, but it's better safe than sorry. And if you guys need I have a whole giant payoff list, just like 350 different numbers, emails, faxes, whatever that you guys can utilize for your clients. If they wanted to call and see what their current payoff is, if they give you the authorization to do so, I mean, y'all are welcome to have it. I'll give you it.
Nice.
Send us a group email. I would love that information.
Yes. Yeah. And it goes all the way through like Amarillo National all the way down to Zion Bank. Like I've got
Zion Bank. That was the
bank. I've been revising this payoff statement. So every time a number changes, every time a bank gets, bought out by somebody else, you will have, there's notes off to the right-hand side, and it tells you how long to expect the payoff quote to come through.
Yeah.
If they need written authorization, all that stuff, it's all in this.
I mean, that's gold. That is gold.
That is.
Wow.
So, yay.
That's $1 billion list.
That is. I want it. I want it bad.
I'm sorry. It's storming.
It's storming there?
The only thing that
the
only thing that I suggest with having this information is make sure that you have written authorization from your clients to obtain this information prior to doing anything. Now, you can always provide them. A lot of times they don't know what phone call or what phone number to utilize in order to get a payoff, so that you guys can really have a good sit down listing appointment to figure out what their proceeds are going to be.
Yeah.
So I think it's beneficial to share it with you guys, and I'll do so through an encrypted email later on this week.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Not the encrypted email.
People don't know when you buy a house, they say your payment's not due for 45 days, right?
Yeah.
So that is what is called payment in arrears. And so whenever you order the payoff, that payment, that
interest and everything
is all the way back paid off at the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's what a lot of people don't think about. Also, you have to include, the per diem. So I do a payoff always good through, typically if you're closing in the middle of the month, so say the 15th, I'll do a payoff good through the 30th. Mm-hmm. Any extra there, I'm going to utilize the amount that they gave me through the 30th.
Right.
However, if you make a payment in that time, they are the ones responsible to give you whatever it is back.
Right.
My obligation is to make sure that amount there is still valid, and that's the amount that I'm paying off. Yep. So keep that in mind.
Better more than less.
Always.
Speaking of more or less, let's do another Realtors React. This one is about inspections.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they're needed, but
Well, let's see. Here we go with this one.
Oh, I love these so much.
There's no drawers. How are you gonna have
There's
a
usually
brand
not.
new house? Look, nothing. No drawers. I hope this house is for a bachelor, because this will not work for a woman. Where would my wife put all of her junk with just that?
Well, that's because it's under $300,000
Crack tile.
already.
Y'all see all the lifted shingles, just not quite laying flat.
And I feel like this is something that people need to pay more attention to.
That's why you get an inspection.
Wet and just drip into that safety
And a
tank,
good
a whole bunch of
inspector.
That.
One that you trust.
I mean, I guess we're just gonna leave it like
Almost there.
Almost there.
It's so hard to
Those
see
are awful
joints.
subcontractors.
Over here at Good Enough Construction.
Good enough construction.
I'm looking at the brick and I'm like, I think I know what builder this is.
It'll be all right, LLC.
So, okay. I wanted to get from you guys. I mean, it behooves the consumer to be mindful of who they're getting into business with as far as like buying a home. But what can you speak to as far as getting inspectors? I know, Hillary, you have some friends that are going to have on the show later on.
The end. Do it no matter what, if it's new or not. Get an inspection. And like they said, I don't know who said it, find one. Ask your real estate partner who has a good one. I've got like 2.
We've all got lists.
Yes. I've got a list of 2 that are so good that they will point out things that are just normal wear and tear, because that's going to come across any inspection anyways. Like, it doesn't matter if it's brand new or not. You're never getting an inspection where everything is perfect. There's always be something that's deficient on there. And so it's just picking apart what is literally needed to be done or what is okay. Codes change, things like that. Doesn't mean there's something wrong. But if the home was built in the 80s, the code from the 80s is not the same that it is now. So things
asbestos.
Or the 60s.
Or correct.
Your gas fireplace isn't turning on. Things like that.
I had an inspector go to one of my high-end ones and didn't know how to turn on the stove. It wasn't that it wasn't working, but he still marked that it wasn't because he didn't know how to turn it on. And then we had the people, the people that built the place, the developer come in and he's like, this is how you do it and all that stuff. It was just different than most of the things that they see. So they're not perfect either, but you also want to get one that's not going to alarm your clients, because there's so much stuff. If you say this is wrong, and you don't explain it, then the clients, especially,
you got to read through it with them,
are going to freak out. Like, oh, this is all deficient and it's bad. And
I'm backing out.
Right.
When it needs simple fixes.
And you've got to read the room on your clients too, because I have some inspectors that will note everything.
Oh,
you'll get a 70-page long inspection of
if it's over 50 pages.
But then I have some that are they see it, they note it, and it's
a little bit more lenient.
It's always helpful to have the buyers present at inspections.
Yep.
Even if it's just
at the end.
Even if it's just the last 30 minutes, so that the inspector can go over it with them. Because I had a client that was tripping on the grade of the house.
Oh, I've had a few that do that. I'm like,
and he's like, correct it. And I'm like, okay, let's bring in dirt. And like, it's this water heater that's leaking and this HVAC that is sparking. That's where we need to focus
our attention.
Meanwhile, I still end up writing a repair amendment. Please correct grading on back of.
What I tell my clients is, if you can do it with a weekend at Lowe's or Home Depot and
a weekend warrior,
don't ask.
Yeah.
If you can do it on your own time and it's minor, don't ask. If it doesn't really, unless it's something major that's dealing with the functions of the house, if it's not your roof, your foundation, your HVAC system, your plumbing, if those 4 things are in good working condition, let's see what really needs to be done after that. And then maybe we can negotiate something. But if those 4 are working well, you've got a solid place.
And that's another read the room situation too, because you can have like a young single girl that doesn't have any experience or know anybody that can come in and do it, that is overwhelmed
just
by all
fans money,
tiny things. And so that's when you get your little, contractor buddy over there to say, hey, this is $30. This is $25. Like, you can.
I call it my blue book. My blue book has everybody listed in it. And I'm like, here you go, buddy. That's who you need to call
jobs?
Right there.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Is it blue collar jobs?
No, it's just a blue book.
No, but that's brilliant.
It works.
But that's not a bad idea. I could create a whole other one.
Words there. I like that.
Bro, this one, honestly, my blue book is so full. I really do need to make a separate one because I have tabs for everything.
Going through it, all I can think
of
Rolodex. Those don't even exist.
Yes,
anymore.
I need an old school Rolodex.
I want one on my desk right now.
Oh,
they're so niche.
But with that video, I was going to say, typically, and again, we know this, but if you let's say it's a new construction home, you take that, you get your inspection done a couple weeks before you close, 3 weeks or so, then you hand over the entire inspection report to them and they'll go through and fix it all. They should, or they'll tell you, well, no, this is okay. This is our building standards and this is why we're not fixing it. But most of the time they'll go up there, they'll glue the shingles down, they'll fix whatever needs to be fixed. And then you go through that at your walkthrough before you even buy the home to make sure it's all been done. Otherwise
blue
you can
tape, baby, blue tape all day. Blue tape and everything.
Well, and let's not forget that a roof is an insurance issue with the bank, not an appraiser issue.
Correct.
So you need to be sure going in there with a bank loan that the bank is going to
Sure that.
insure it, based off of.
Wait, what?
If an insurance company won't insure the roof, then the bank won't insure the loan.
Because you have to have your homeowner's insurance locked in before you can close on a deal. Period. Point blank. So, like Hillary's saying, you have like roofing issues. That would go under an insurance policy. If they're unwilling to insure it, then you've basically halted the deal. Yeah. You have to have that corrected or an obligation behind it as to, yes, the contractor is coming out, that yes, we already have everything lined up before you can proceed with, the closing of the deal.
Oh yeah, and that's when you find out who got the insurance claim but didn't get a new roof.
Money in my pocket.
Man, I just had that. I had that come up. They already closed on the house, and I had the seller. And then we were like, it was like during the holidays because it closed on the 20th. And the buyer's agent called me and was like, well, what are these claims on the insurance? And I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, you should have looked at that and addressed that before you purchased the house. But two, looking into it, I guess the seller who I was representing, his daughter had lived in the house and got renter's insurance. I kid you not. She made a claim on the house because the power went out for a few hours and the refrigerator was off. And she said that it ruined all of her food. So she made a claim with the insurance company about the amount of food that was lost.
No. Eat my ass.
So
eat my entire ass.
That showed up on the inspection or, on the insurance report. And they were like, what are these things? Like, it's stupid. It's dumb.
What?
I've done that in Lubbock a couple of times.
You did that?
I screwed somebody over. Yeah. Well,
I screwed somebody over.
No, but if you're buying a house and that pulls up, don't you think that like, hey, there's some claims on the insurance from the prior people. Don't you think you should clear that up before you purchase the house?
I guess if you didn't know.
Isn't your insurance?
How would you not know?
Company's supposed to pull that
on the renter's insurance thing.
Well, okay, granted. So I have separate renter's insurance from my dad owning the homeowner's insurance. Yeah. So I don't know.
What I'm saying is when you're getting new insurance, they're running all their clue reports and all that stuff. Isn't that something that shows up before you get to the closing table?
It should.
It should. That's what I'm saying. It should.
That's what I'm saying. They were been shopping that. And I was just like, I could have dug. I mean, there was no issue after that. They were just wanting to know what it was about. But I'm like, look, if there were these issues, you should have done this before everybody signed all the documents. Don't you think?
It just goes to show like anything that's done in the dark comes to the light, right?
But I have had so many buyers that are so overwhelmed that they're shopping this and they're shopping that, and then they've called insurance, and then they've decided to bundle their car insurance with their home insurance because they got a better rate, and then they got overwhelmed and didn't read through it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's something now, because I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me with that. But as far as my buyers go, I'm going to say, hey, before you, decide on an insurance policy and close on this house, make sure that there are no claims that you're unhappy with, or if there were, that are going to be worrisome to you moving forward.
They get brought to light now.
Yeah.
Because the seller has never lied on a seller's disclosure.
No.
Never. What are you talking about?
Well, again, that's the whole reason why you go through a title company, is to make sure that all this crap is cleared. I mean, granted, I don't deal with insurance stuff.
A title company now?
Do I now?
Can you really buy and sell a house without you now?
Not appropriately.
Well, you've always been able to. Hypothetically speaking, you've always been able to. You can always hire an attorney to draw up a warranty deed. And lo and behold, that's it. But your issue is when you go to sell and the new buyer wants a title policy, all those liens and everything that may not have been cleared from when you purchased it because that person shipped your hand.
Like pulling all the history. Is an attorney going to do that?
No. Exactly. No, they do not.
Get this.
They say, hey, $125 for a warranty deed. Done.
Mm-hmm. Get this. So before I met Ricky, he had bought a house in Arkansas back up. He had been driving past this house to his dad's every day back home from the fire academy and was like, I want to buy this house. The roof was caved in, everything. It was like a project. And So he looked it up and found the guy that bought it, and he ended up buying it off the courthouse steps for $2,000, not realizing that there was a house on it and it was sitting on an acre, which real estate's much cheaper in Arkansas, of course.
Right.
And so he's like, we're going to the oil field down here. Like, okay, sold. I will pay you 3 times what you paid for this. And so he ends up paying $6,000 for this. Meanwhile, fast forward 4 years later, when we're trying to sell it because it's too far away to manage, they can go back because Ricky had an attorney do it all. And so they can go back. And so what we ended up having to do, because we couldn't get a hold of the people, we had to run an ad in the newspaper looking for these people for, I think it was 60 days, 30 days, 60 days.
Oh, to see it legally. It
was like a time period where if anybody were to come forward, then they could contest the contract that we had on the house and get it back from us.
I'd make sure it was in really small print.
Right?
We find them. We sold the house. It was fine. It was fine. But it could have really been a shit show.
It can be like for us right now, we're adding an additional item to Schedule C, which if you do any business around here, at least within the counties around here, you'll find it pop up on your title commitments that if it shows to be there's no GF number, which is a title company number or something like that, that it was an insurable transaction, we are now requiring an affidavit of deed. So you have to go back to the prior seller and get this cleared prior to closing this transaction. So what happens if that person's dead?
You're SOL.
Then you have to do an affidavit of heirship.
Right.
And find out which heir can attest to that person did in fact sign over that deed.
That's
crazy.
They can decide, like they could have been like on drugs the past 10 years and not know what their parents did with real estate.
Right.
And
happens more often than you think.
House? Like,
happens more often than you think.
Right.
My God.
Yep.
I think we all need to get little like sticks with red flags on them.
Yes, we should. Okay.
Real estate red flag.
I'm so here for that. Okay, so let's move on because I've had to guess for a while. What are you excited for this year? It's new year, new you. It's 265 new pages and whatnot. So I want to know, what is the title of your book this year?
Oh, why do you ask me these questions?
Sell it,
sister.
It's
a good one. It's a good one.
That's yours, is Sell It, Sister?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is growth and happiness.
The word that I can think of is perseverance.
Ooh.
Did we do words, like 20-25 words? Me and Adex did. I can't remember what it was.
No, you asked me. Yours is so
It was kumquat or something. What is it?
Stelkuth. It's Stelkuth.
Kumquat.
What does that even mean?
It means, one moment, please.
Google.
Well, Adex sent it to me.
I did.
Okay, wait. Wow, we text a lot. Oh, I have another thing I want to address before the end of the podcast, by the way, on TikTok. I need all of y'all to be very careful with social media right now.
I don't even have a TT.
Good.
I mean, it's getting banned here, but you're fine.
I know, right? Like soon, right?
Stelkuth. It means unfamiliar, rare, and strange, but marvelous.
Ooh.
Stelkuth.
One word.
Yeah, Stelkuth. Mine is you're awesome and no, I'm awesome and you're fat.
Oh, there you go. Perfection.
I'm awesome and you're fat. That's it.
I like that.
Done.
The end.
Yeah. So, that's it. No ellipses. I'm awesome and you're fat. What is troubling you? What is
I know. I'm like very intrigued now.
Me too. I'm like, what?
Me? What's troubling you?
Yeah, well, you're just talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So holy moly. I don't know if Adex has the video saved, but so I had promoted one of my TikTok videos. It was like follow me.
Oh my God.
On a can I share my screen?
You should. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little share button at the bottom.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait. It won't even be like the video is not even whatever. It's just me like getting in my car, loading up all my signs and putting gas and then like waiting and then dropping the sign and then putting it like and it's all fast, like da-na-na-na. And then I start getting all of these hateful comments. And y'all, I am like T-minus 33 years old. I should not be crying over comments on social media.
No.
But I start
Context. Someone once said that what was it about your voice?
Oh, that my talking, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That my talking voice was horrendous to listen to.
Ew. Close.
So rude, which was the rudest comment I had gotten until the past couple of weeks.
What?
Okay, so flashback, picture it, 2018 in some podunk town in Missouri or something. There is this, they want to call her like a realtor, but she was not a realtor because she would not have done this had she been a realtor. Anyway, so she lived in this apartment complex that she worked at. So I'm assuming she was like a leasing agent, assistant manager type situation. And there was this Black man that was walking into her apartment the same time as her, and she stopped him and asked for to show proof of residency with this key fob and whatever. And he kind of beat around the bush at first and then realized that she was like really being serious, started recording her, and she was being so ugly to him. And so finally he got the fob out and just showed her, like opened the door and was like, I live here. Like, and so anyway, that video has since resurfaced. Her name is Hillary and she is blonde and she's chonky and ugly and does not look like me. But apparently, since I had promoted like Hillary Stevens Real Estate, Realtor, Apartments,
oh no, people put them together
that I had done because I have an at home with diversity thing, the extra crap, can't think of the word right now. Anyway, I had that on my hashtags. And so I guess it was drawing people to my video. And so I didn't know anything about it. And I started getting all of these hateful comments that were like, so you're here to find the apartment girl and you realize that she's a racist and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, excuse me? And so I go through the video and I'm like, how is me putting signs in the yard and opening doors and chips at an open house racist? Like, hang on a second. And so then I'm like messaging these people back and I'm like, are you a weird man's been on me? And then all these people start commenting. And then finally, like, thank God, one guy was finally like, tagged me in this video and was like, is this you? And saw the video and it was like breaking news and it showed the whole thing. And I was just like,
you need to do like a whole video on that. Like, this is not me.
I did. It's at the very top of my TikTok. If I knew how to share my screen right now, I would, because I texted Adex panicking. I was like, what? Not me.
This is dying.
And then it got so bad, y'all, that TikTok was filtering the comments. Like, I was like, where did all the mean comments go? And then I clicked on it and it was like, TikTok may have hidden some of these comments due to vulgarity.
I was reporting them.
So I was like reading through them and I was like,
Hillary, I was reporting them.
Were you? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Bless you. I was like, okay.
What is wrong with people?
And it was, and I'm telling you, Bre, all of these people that were commenting were like, their usernames were like, who knows, 7654817 and user 4121748 and like, and so finally I took comments off on the video because it like had me in a whole.
Well, first of all, don't ever take what anybody says to heart.
Don't read the
comments. It takes tough skin to be in this type of business, regardless if you're on my end, but especially on y'all's end. Just don't take that to heart, boo. You know that Hillary is way under you. They are not two in the same.
Well, and then I would have defended myself better had I had more information. I thought that these people were just being rude for no reason. And then I like look in my video, it had like 400 views. And then I looked the next day and it had like 17,000 views. And I was like, wow, that promoting stuff really works. And I'm looking through all the comments and I was like,
hey, they still worked, Hillary. They still work. People still watch your video. I call that a check yes.
Listen, Hillary, as
I guess.
Every kind of publicity is good publicity, girl.
Hillary, you know, let me just show you. Okay. Like, this is a norm. A norm.
Oh.
Like a norm. And it's not to say, it's like, it's literally every single day. There's people.
Adex, can you share your screen to my pinned TikTok video that I made? Yeah. Addressing it. Because I had to pin it and address it because it was getting ridiculous.
No,
but I did gain like 600 followers. So they were hating, but they were still there.
That's what I'm saying, girl.
It's literally shit like this on a daily basis. And I don't do that. Like,
yes.
It's on a daily basis. But yeah, here. And so like,
all right, my loves, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Okay. Let's just wrap it up. Or let me show you Hillary's thing and we can wrap up. Hillary.
I was like, I'm addressing this on the podcast. This is crazy.
No, it was intense, dude. It can be really intense. Oh, here it is.
Happy Friday, everybody. So there was a story going around involving a real estate agent or apartment leasing agent or something. And her name's Hillary, that has blonde hair and has been involved in a very negative situation. And I want to clarify, not me. I value respect, kindness, and inclusivity in all that I do. So, just to clarify, it's not me. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out.
You know why I'm laughing? Like, someone made my bitch do this. Someone made my bitch have to go out of her way and do this. Like, that's so fucked up of y'all.
That did not even look like me. She
did not look like you.
Surely not.
So
right,
oh, that's hilarious.
And brown eyes.
Okay.
I could never.
That really made my bitch have to do that.
Look a little bit closer.
That's so funny.
I did get my money's worth on that promote, though. I did.
You made me laugh, girl.
Where can they find y'all? Bre, go first.
Oh, capital title as always. My Facebook if you need. But if you need me further, feel free to find me at Capital Title in Kingwood.
Christina?
You can find me on most of my platforms at Stina Money. That's STINUH for fun.
And finally, Hillary. Where do they find you?
Instagram, SS Real Estate Brokerage, all the other things, Hillary Stevens Broker, and www.ssrealestate.com.
Woo!
Fantastic. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this has been SS Walks We Talk. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.